Even if it were raining, you could use it this way too.
Yeah, so it doesn't blow in on you.
So it doesn't blow in on you and you still under, away from the rain when you're at the helm. Down below here, there's more space for shoes or something like that.
Yeah. And then there's a drawer there, and then the air conditioner units below that.
Right.
And there's this handy dandy little control here, so that you don't have to crawl up to turn on the fan.
That's the light, and the fan is the one in front of it.
There you go, fan and light, and accessible from the comfort of your bed.
Yep, all
and
LED.
Closet and hang up storage.
Right. Now, additional storage. I think now this can also convert to be to bring salt water into the boat. So if you're really trying to conserve,
how do you do that?
There's a valve right down here. This valve here, it either sucks on the refrigerator, or I put it in the other direction, and it sucks on salt water.
Okay. And it comes out the little.
It comes out that little one. Nice little oven. Works fine. Arthur and I cook a lot of things in there. And under here is where I keep a lot of cleaning supplies and stuff. So there's storage underneath there as well.
So Paul, he's going to leave you a sample of each of the cleaning things he uses, and then you have to replace them later.
Or replace it with whatever he chooses.
Or if you have other things you want to use.
So I think there's nothing.
The wine storage, Paul. Had lots of room for all of your bottles. Goes way back in there. Keeps them nice and safe.
Yeah.
Until you can imbibe.
There it is. And the
Okay.
condensate from that goes to the bilge.
Okay. And then that's, so you have your bilge pumps on. It's the salon air conditioner.
Correct. Sitting up here. These are the covers for the winch handles and so forth. And
the filter and the docking lines. It's all too dark there. You can see it.
Yeah. And I keep the pump for the dinghy in here as well.
Okay.
This is just a bag of odds and end ropes, little those ties.
Yeah.
And no big long ropes, but you just sometimes need to lash something down.
Yep.
So this I normally call the safety locker. Life preservers. The grill is in here too. I don't know what that has to do with safety. I also keep the cushions here, and there are some flares. There's a flare kit.
That's where we had our ditch bag when we were at sea.
And the ditch bag is what we kept in here too at sea. Then the ditch bag, the little plugs just in case. So those things will still be here.
Start that over again.
Oh, okay.
The power cable.
Interesting thing about the power cable on this boat, it's hardwired to the boat. There's no outside plug that you'd have to plug the power cable into. That eliminates one plug, one connection issue to get bad. So my belief is that it's a better way than having a power cable with two plug-in ports. It's just one extra thing that could go wrong.
Right.
Stuff in there that can fly around because that is where the steering cables are. So I like to know that nothing is going to ram into the steering. and it sits in this white box,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the battery switch for the Panda generator.
Okay.
And this is the exhaust hose for the main engine. You see the size of that thing.
Yeah.
But it's. You see me or?
Yeah.
Okay. So easy access in and out, and these are the tinted glass now. But all to do to change that is just pull this stainless steel piece off, and lift your glass right out. And there's an insert of a similar thing with no CM screen in it that you just insert in. So the glass goes in, very simple. Put the slide back in place, like that. And if you're out sailing and you don't want your door to be moving around, you just lift it up and take it off and stow it below. That's simple. Especially what I wanted to point out is not necessarily the beer and wine, although it's important, but the cold block. It goes all the way to the bottom, and it's a cold storage block. So once this thing gets cold, like it is now, it doesn't cycle very much. Doesn't need to cycle very much. And our mode was an hour in the morning and an hour in the evening. Keeps everything pretty nice, right, Arthur?
Yep.
Also has a cold plate in the back, and it operates kind of the same way, keeping things cold. Now, on is usually in the 28,
freezing.
26
Yeah.
range. So it works pretty nice that way. These are, you can change the settings of these to whatever you desire. Every now and then, the bottom of the refrigerator gets a little bit too cold and freezes something.
Sometimes we get a slushy beer.
Yeah. So we've kind of zeroed in on 35-ish to set it to.
So can you tell me again what runs the freezer and refrigerator units?
Yes. They are AC units. So they are run from AC power when AC power is available, either from the generator or from shore power. The inverter charger unit will will be charging the batteries. If it sees direct AC current, it will send it directly to the refrigeration unit.
Okay.
If you don't have any AC power coming, then, and you do want to run refrigeration, it will convert from the DC power in the batteries, it will convert that to AC and run those two units.
But you said you run the generator twice a day just to really get it down and
Yeah.
cool it, and then it'll kind of hold in between.
Yes, and the reason we're running the generator twice a day to charge the batteries,
Right.
which get charged by the engine as well.
If
So if
you're
you were
running
running
that,
the engine,
yeah, then you
would
don't need that. Yeah.
But if you were sailing, you would probably want to run the generator to charge, to keep your batteries topped off. And that's the new refrigeration control system. New 2014-ish.
I don't remember.
We put it in after our first trip to the Bahamas. And we put it in before we went to to Chesapeake Bay.
Yeah, so
Cold, fresh water, drinking water, second
Filter.
Second filter.
So it gets filtered as it's coming on the boat. You put that, you have the
Right.
filter in line
And then
And
it's
then you have-
filtered one more time for
coming out.
your
and
cold water,
drink.
drinking
and
water.
It's potable when it comes out.
Right.
So you don't have to carry all those jugs and everything on board.
Yep.
You were
Exactly.
saying.
This is another place where if you wanted to put some kind of box and secure it to the wall, you could have more storage in here as well. What we have here is, this is the air conditioning seawater strainer. It's bringing seawater through and cooling the coils in the air conditioner, which sits under that cushion. But here is what I want you to see. This is the water distribution panel. And you can see there's one unit on. By the way, I'll take these off because everything is full now. So our system is over here. We have these little tags hanging. And when this tank empties, someone will know it because all of a sudden the water pressure goes away. So we turn it off and we hang one of these empty signs on it. And then when we have 3 empty signs, we know we better be finding water. So that's the system. And it works real well.
Now you could, depending on how you want to do it, you could set that manifold to everything on and draw from all tanks if you chose to.
Yeah, but then you wouldn't really know where you were.
don't know where your water
right.
is. Yes.
Right.
And Paul, there is a gauge over here, but it is not hooked up. There evidently are sensors in the tanks, but they don't seem to go anywhere. So you just have to check. You said you had a special system of checking how much? This is the system.
This is the system.
Okay.
Each tank is 60 gallons.
Okay.
So that's where you get the 240 gallons.
All right.
And so
when you're working on your last one, you should be thinking about going ashore.
right. It's a gauge, but it runs in 60 gallon increments per minute. Variable speed water pump.
That's the water pump. That is a meter that's disconnected. But if you would rather do that instead of the cute little tags, then that's an option.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're going to be standing in water about this deep, and you're going to wonder why it's not pumping out.
Okay.
Because you press a button in there to empty it.
Empty it, but if it's not turned on in here, then you get no action out of it.
Yeah, and that's what this switch is. It's called comfort.
Okay.
It's probably a French word meaning drain pump. But that's the switch that activates the pump, and there's one in each statement because these are showers as well. I don't know if you knew that, but this is a shower.
Yeah.
And so it pumps it from that drain in there. But everybody uses the shower. And extra oil, funnel for filling oil in the main engine, oil absorption pads, more funnels. These are cans of extra oil for the engine. Should something go wrong and you need to fill it. So is where
you've got your lines.
There's new lines.
And
I'm keeping my little vacuum.
okay.
You can get it real cheap, and it works great. Much better than the battery powered.
It's a wet dry one.
Yeah. Wet dry.
And in order to run it, he runs it off of the transformer that's in the back there in the back salon.
Right.
No, forward salon.
So brand new
Yeah. Beautiful.
lines. The two that we pointed out out there. They're labeled
Main halyard and
main
sheet.
halyard and main sheet. Also, there's a washdown
backup.
pump, or this is really like the bilge pump that's being used. Brand new. That can go with it. And here's this is a shower bilge pump as well, a different kind. This is the one for the main bilge. This is the main bilge pump.
Okay.
So it's a spare. And we bought all these things in the Caribbean before we left. We asked the guys, "What do you think we should have on board?" And they said, "Yeah,
these are things that you need to.
Since I'm selling you something,
Yeah,
why don't you buy this stuff?"
This is a spare masthead light. I just replaced it a while back, within the last year, and I put an LED bulb in it. But here's another one. And I have, in the forward statement, I have a couple other pumps and things to leave with Paula. The plugs on this boat are all up high and sometimes in awkward areas. So what I've used this for if I'm down here working on things, or a couple people have a computer, I plug the plug into one, and then I essentially make a
splitter.
splitter so that you have two additional plug-ins that you can easily plug into, under the table or something.